The ANC Lekgotla has appointed its a female national spokesperson, Mahlengi Bhengu. Bhengu takes over from Mahlengi, who's been in the position since 2018. She was elected into the party's National Executive Committee in December during the 55th National Conference at Newzroom. Bhengu, who's a former ANC Youth League leader, was the first chairperson of the Umsobomvu Youth Fund. She's also served on the board of the governing party's OR Tambo School of Leadership. Just to get more on this, we're now joined by on Bhengu's appointment and what the strategy the ANC is likely to take after its Lekgotla at Kempton Park in Ekurhuleni. We're joined by political analyst Xolani Dube. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Just looking at the new announcement, Mahlengi now, no longer in the position, with Mahlengi Bhengu being appointed as ANC national spokesperson to take over. What do you imagine to be some of the tasks and the role that she'll need to embody, especially during this time for the ANC?
Look, first and foremost, I think we need to be worried, about the morals and the ethics of Mahlengi Bhengu, and because he accepted a position of an organization that currently has brought all the South Africans into a hellhole. And one wonders how she's going to really clean this organization where its own former president and the current president have washed their hands. Let me give you an example. The fact that on the 19th of August 2020, Cyril Ramaphosa wrote a letter where he told South Africans that ANC is a party of hyenas, is a party of scavengers, is a party that is an accused number one when it comes to stealing in South Africa. And the former President Thabo Mbeki, he told us that ANC has got an element of being imigodoi. And Halema Motlande, he told South Africans that this is a gangster party. And Jacob Zuma, he told us as well that this organization is being led by the most corrupt president. And so one wonders why Mahlengi is accepting this position, because we know it very well that we are in this hellhole. The people in Kolobeni were killed. The people in Marikana were killed. The people at Stimeni were killed. Our townships today are called war zones because of this ANC. We are on our knees because of this organization. And so now one wonders really what is the political consciousness of Mahlengi Bhengu for allowing herself to be used by these scavengers and hyenas in Godoi to talk to us. And so I think the shame is upon her right now.
We also understand, according to ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, that due to the workload of the communications team, that she will be one of other spokespeople who will be appointed in the position. What do you make of that? Because we haven't seen that before, where there's more than one national spokesperson.
The question is, what is it that she will be communicating? The problem that we have, we try to understand how that madhouse is thinking. We know it very well that ANC is a madhouse, and so it's very difficult to come with a proper analysis of a madhouse. And so even himself, Mbalula, we know it very well what they are doing with Mahlengi. They are pacifying the women in the ANC. At the same time, they are proving to the South African that ANC is a calvary where women of South Africa are being crucified. And so that's why I'm saying it's not about Mahlengi here. It's not about ANC, but it's about what the women of South Africa, especially those who are in the ANC, are saying right now, because those are the mothers of our nation. The people are supposed to have this compassion about the well-being of our society. And so if they use such kind of a person who's supposed to be an embodiment of compassion, of hope and everything, to use her to communicate their evil doings to the South African, I can assure you they are also bastardizing the concept of what is the meaning of a woman. And so ANC is beyond redemption now. If they can use a woman for such a position, because we know it very well that ANC is no longer there, but the party that we have, a party of scavengers, of hyenas, of gangsters, and that is being led by a president who's the most corrupt one. And so I'm saying the Women's League must really question their morals and ethics. And also we as South African, we have to whisper to Mahlengi Bhengu and say, you can't take this position, because if you take this position, we will judge you like we are judging the rest of those who have robbed us a better life here in South Africa.
Are you saying that whatever that she'll communicate will be a communication strategy that will perhaps go against her own personal beliefs, and that she'll have to do a lot of course, propaganda in essence when it comes to the manner in which she'll communicate for the party? And also we'd said that she's the first national ANC spokesperson. She is, but in a while, because it was many years ago occupied by the late Jesse Duarte as the national spokesperson for the ANC. Looking at the times, so you're saying this time around to speak for the ANC would be detrimental to her own integrity?
Precisely. I think it is about her here. Because, we as young people, we grew up admiring Mahlengi Bhengu. But now we are asking ourselves, was it worth it to admire this woman who is not even going to be doing what you call propaganda? She will be lying to us as South Africans. And so she's taking this position, knowing very well that I am going to lie to the South Africans. The question is, when she looks herself in the mirror, when she communicates to her kids, to the people that he loves, what kind of perception is he creating for herself? That is the most important question, because we know it very well, all of us as South Africans. If you can go to the township right now, you can find that ANC has destroyed that habitat space known as townships. And if you can go to universities, you can see how young girls are being made vulnerable by this government. And if you go to the hospital, you go everywhere. South Africa the jails are full into capacity because of this organization. The laws of the policies of neoliberalism. ANC is a total curse to the South African native in the main. And so how Mahlengi Bhengu is going to give us hope? The fact of the matter, she's not going to give us hope. She'll be lying to us as South Africans. And the fact that we have to accept is that possible Mahlengi, he is against the will of the people moving forward.
Let's, of course, still staying on politics, looking at some of the developments we've seen this week around Deputy President David Mabuza. We are now looking at reports there that he's informed President Cyril Ramaphosa of his intention to resign, and also what's being reported as one of the reasons why is also citing health issues. What do you make of this move and the manner in which it's been handled?
When you try to understand that madhouse, really it's very difficult, because even themselves, they don't know what they are doing, Today we are told that so-and-so is going to occupy this position and so-and-so is not going to do it. I think ANC is not hanging on a cotton thread. The question is, who is in charge of the ANC right now? Who is pulling the strings behind the ANC? Because you can see that those people who claim to be the leaders of the ANC, they are not in charge. They are faces behind the faces that we know. And so we have to ask ourselves as South Africans that if really by mistake ANC become the governing the governing party post 2024, who will be ruling South Africa? Because ANC, we know these are native administrators. ANC, as we speak, is done and dusted. And that's why I'm saying, whether it's DD, whether it's Paul Mashatile, it's just a joke, to be quite honest, that ANC can elevate that person to a deputy president. We know it very well that person, he failed to run the Trudy House. He failed to run Gauteng. He failed to run the Department of Arts and Culture. He is a failure. But we know that ANC always promotes, ANC always elevates those who have failed South Africans. And so we are not surprised that there is also Paul Mashatile, who's supposed to become the deputy president, to Cyril Ramaphosa, who has destroyed this country. Today we are on the load shedding. People in Marikana are screaming right, left, and right. They are offense. That's how ANC has become. And so we cannot expect anything positive from the ANC. As I've always telling South Africans that we need to create a firewall against the ANC, because for the mere fact that they are promoting Paul Mashatile, we need not even to be scared. Trust me, we need to stand up and say enough is enough.
Can we expect anything positive, as we know that all eyes are on President Cyril Ramaphosa as he applies his mind on the imminent cabinet reshuffle? I mean, we heard the likes of new ANC NEC member Nongaba Mhlauli calling for under 35s to be considered when it comes to this new cabinet.
You know, look, whether we are old or young, male or female, ANC is a den of thieves. ANC is a gangster party. ANC is full of hyenas and scavengers. ANC is an accused number one when it comes to corruption in South Africa. ANC is the party of Mgodoi. It's not me, but these are the description that we were told by the leaders of the ANC. And so whether is someone who's 35, below 35, or above 35, they tried in Gauteng, remember, with Bandile Masuku. Where is Bandile Masuku today? You remember for David Masondo once was alleged in the sexual scandal. And before the sexual scandal, remember that in Limpopo, while he was an MEC for economic development, Pravin Godani decided to put that thing under administration. And in KwaZulu-Natal, you know, ANC with young people, they lost most of the municipalities. Even the Auditor General in KwaZulu-Natal, under this young leadership, he made it clear that KwaZulu-Natal is a shameless province when it comes to an irregular expenditure. As we speak, the leadership in KwaZulu-Natal is flip-flopping. They don't have backbone. Today they are with Cyril, the following day they are with Zweli, they are insulting Cyril, tomorrow they are praising Cyril. Let me tell you something. ANC, as I've said, is a party that we cannot trust at all. If we trust it, trust me, we will be betraying the future of the next generation. And so we cannot expect anything in that organization unless if we want South Africa to sink into Sodom and Gomorrah.
Just very quickly before we let you go, which party do you think can likely be trusted? I mean, we're in the era of coalitions.
Look, you know, you have to understand how the biometrics operate in South Africa. ANC is not different from DA. ANC is not different from EFF. ANC is not different from Action SA. ANC is not different from IFP. Why they have this coalition? Because these people, they serve one Satan, of which is the minerals energy complex, the rulers of this country. This political organization, who I refer to them as political merchants, they are not serving the interest of South Africans, but they are serving their own interest on the other side. They are looting, destroying the resources of this country in order to ossify and solidify the power of colonialism and power of apartheid. And we as South Africans, we remain vulnerable. If these parties really they are there for us, the vulnerable, the dehumanized, why in South Africa today, when you look at the food basket, the majority can't afford the food basket? Why in South Africa, when you look at our G coefficient, is the most horrible in the world? Why the per capita in a household, when you look at it, is only the majority who are suffering? When you go to the education in our country, look who is at the receiving end, is the majority. When you look at the in terms of unemployment, the people who are unemployed is the majority of the people of this country. And also when you look at the Human Development Index, the people who are still in the condemnation are the South African natives. And so EFF, DA, Action SA, IFP and DA, they are not there to serve our interests. They are there to serve the interests of the minerals energy complex. Because at the end of the day, we know it very well that all these parties, they are being funded by this so-called minerals energy complex. They are not funded by us. And so they will never, ever have an allegiance, and they will never promote our interests. And so we are being left in hell by all these political parties. Look at the municipalities. Look at what the coalition are doing there. And so if we say ANC is better than EFF, EFF is better than ANC, let me tell you something. We are fooling ourselves.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for weighing in the view there of political analyst Xolani Dube. Still to